Hi Geminis. So if your birthday is from May 21st to June 21st, that puts you on the right video for Gemini. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it and say a prayer. If you don't like the Christian prayer, feel free to skip ahead. Say your own prayer. Make sure you protect yourself. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the power and the kingdom and the glory forever and ever. Heavenly Father, please surround and protect me with your heavenly angels. Please allow me to be an empty vessel, Heavenly Father, so that I might receive your messages clearly for the highest good of all who are watching. I ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. So I hope that all my Geminis are doing well. This reading is going to be for the remainder of September 2021. I do apologize for not doing it as early as I did some of the other videos. I am trying to get on track with scheduling. And I won't say any more about that because I'm going to keep my energy out of this. It is all about you tonight, Geminis. Okay. I'm going to do a standard Celtic cross and see what's going on with the... Move this down a little bit since I'm doing it this way. We've got your primary energy. Six of Pentacles. Giving to others. It's a good energy to be in right now. We need more of that, Geminis. What is the obstacle? Queen of Wands. It'll be like coming out with the Queen of Wands in reverse. That's what I'm hearing them say. A lack of passion, a lack of some of you are feeling stagnant. You're in the energy of giving to others, wanting to help others, but there's been a lack of happiness in doing it, a lack of desire. So what's causing this? See, our energy is coming from the past. Oh, Geminis are just coming out of a nasty tower. A really, really nasty tower. Energy coming forward to that. Oh, you're getting ready to come towards your Empress. That would be for my masculine Geminis. That would be whether you're... And again, I did not say males, but your masculine, that's testosterone energy. Your head, whatever this tower was, it released you to be able to come towards this Empress energy, either internally within yourself, balancing out that more feminine side, pulling in more of that feminine energy and being able to express more of that feminine energy, the nurturing, the compassion, the caring. Excuse me, which I find very interesting, since that's the very challenge to your current philanthropic, that's not even a word, but that do-gooder energy, and I don't say that in any kind of bad way, but that energy, that drive that makes you want to help others, that drive that makes you want to be compassionate to those around you, but you're lacking that heart that makes it a two-way street. You can give to somebody, but sometimes when you get burnt out and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not feeding yourself at all, you're not giving yourself any energy back, or you're not receiving it from the universe, that can sometimes cause this energy, which can easily be fixed, usually by rest and self-care. However, in your case, Gemini, it's a little bit more deep. You've just come out of some kind of tower, or in some cases, I want to say multiple towers. There's two people here, and a lot of people see that as kind of a relationship tower, but I'm getting the words and the impression that it's multiple things that caused this tower. It was like a little buildup. There was like think of a dominoes. You lay the dominoes out, and then when you push one down, they all fall. It was like that. And so multiple things fell. It was one thing that was the catalyst, and then multiple things fell. And so that just kind of, I was going to say wore you down, but it was almost like a breaking you down. It was very much just unexpected and sudden is the words I'm hearing. And right now, you're currently in this energy. You're currently just feeling, still going about the motions, still doing what you have to do for other people, and practically speaking for yourself, but not really feeling it in your heart. Just kind of feeling kind of defeated. But just know that this tower, these tower moments that you just came out of, all of these little things that just fell, that created this big, massive thing. It would be like things that, and for it to be this big of a tower, it would be things that were unexpected. It would be like you thought your job was secure, everything was great, everything was wonderful, but then somebody comes in to help the company restructure, and they suggest this wonderful new program. And now this program can do the job of 3 people, and so all of a sudden now they don't need you. They don't need your job because someone else is going to be running this program. And so now you don't have a job. And so you're looking for work, and you're looking for your work, and you're looking for work. But all of a sudden you have a sick family member. Like, they're not related incidences. It's not the dominoes in the way you would normally think of them. So all of a sudden you have a sick family member, and you're taking care of the sick family member. You had to have, and this may be someone's story actually. What I'm saying is someone going through, all of a sudden, at the peak of COVID, someone in your family got sick. You didn't necessarily get sick, but someone got sick, and you couldn't go out and actually go to interviews for 2 weeks because that would be irresponsible, and you're not irresponsible. And so you go for interviews for 2 weeks, and then you start going to the interviews, and some other catalytic little thing happens. You've now been out of work for a month, and you're draining your savings. Something goes wrong with the car. So now you're having to make decisions between fixing the car, continuing to go on interviews without the car. Maybe if you had made the choice, and I think that's part of what's got you so defeated, you're looking back at these choices, and maybe if you had made the choice to, say, fix the car and get the job, you would have gotten caught up faster, you wouldn't have lost the house, and things wouldn't be progressing there where they are. However, and for whoever, like, if this is an actual story, I don't think the person's actually lost the house, but it's in the process of, which is causing this absolute defeated feeling because they're not in the next stage. And so you're still at that stage where you're still seeing some of the pieces fall, but it's like a snowball or an avalanche that's been pushed down the mountain, and there is no stopping it, and you can see it's coming, but there's just no stopping it. And so what spirit, the angels, God, whatever, however you want to say it, I'm going to call it the angels because that's just who I am. What they want you to know is that these towers, this moment that's happening, it's happening to clear the way for something better. Now, in terms of if this is a couples kind of thing, and I'm not saying these towers still, no matter what I say, it does not feel like you're just coming out of a relationship. This is not, if you just had, and I'm going to go there because I think there's somebody that's going to come across this video with this, and it's pretty a generic thing to say, so of course there will be. We all go through relationships, right? But for the people that are coming out of these towers, and the towers were relationships, and this is a person, all right, I'll do a separate, they're going to have me do a separate one for that. This is the general energy, and in that general energy, we're not talking about the feeling I'm getting from here. This is not someone coming out of a relationship. This is somebody who has either been single for quite a while or has been in a relationship already. These are life tower moments. And what this is clearing the way for is this energy. Now, if you're single, this could be the person. This could be, getting you to make a move to another city, another state, another town, even just another area of town that opens the door for you to meet the one, okay? And that will still be true for some of you, even though this was not a couples thing, this was more tangible. For others of you, this is going to be putting you in the position in terms of, especially for that storyline that I really saw that feels so specific, an energy of putting yourself in a job, a career, even if it's self-employment, an area where you can touch more that energetic, divine empress energy, that compassion, that having time for following your intuition, the discernment, the not being tied up in very strict and stringent rules. I don't necessarily see the emperor. The emperor doesn't ever strike me as being stuck in stringent rules, where his hands are bound and tied and he can't do anything because of all the regulations, where he sticks to the little narrow box. I see in some decks I see the King of Swords that way, because he's very uptight and very rigid and very standoffish. But this is the difference between, and forgive me for just a moment, this is the difference between going from that King of Swords, you're still a king, you're still very talented, very skilled, but going from that King of Swords energy, that very rigid, masculine, the rules rule all energy, to being able to go into this more relaxed, still very powerful, still have your stuff together, but you're able to rely upon your intuition more. You're able to nurture yourself more in whatever this path is. So what are you sending out into the universe, Gemini? Wishes for your home, your family, your 10 of Cups, your happiness. In many instances, a replacement to this tower. So the question is, if, let's say, for instance, you lost your home, your place of residence, what was wrong with that place of residence that it had to be included in the tower? And you can go within and ask yourself and wait for the divine to show you the answers, either through dreams, through messages, or just think about it. What things were you unhappy with in that place of residence that the universe is making way for something better? What things were in place in that job that did not allow you to be you, did not allow you to tap into your more balanced side, that you would like to have in your current job. I've been getting a lot of messages about setting intentions and really thinking about what we want for this upcoming cycle. And it seems to be a very prevalent thing. But this is the first time that any of my signs have actually come up with the Ten of Cups as what they're manifesting, what they're thinking about. So that's really, really good. If you're not already here, if this is not already what you're sending out, that was the piece of advice. Ask yourself, of all these towers of the things that are being stripped away, what in them was it that you didn't like? And then just ask that, write that down, and then write down, and don't leave it there because that's negative manifesting. Write down, what's the opposite for you of that? For instance, if you really absolutely loved your job, but the company was too big, maybe manifesting for you would just simply be a smaller company. Maybe you didn't like your work at all, and there's something else you'd like to explore. So that's what you would manifest. So it's going to be based on what did you learn from these towers, because the towers are clearing things that no longer serve us. So what no longer serves you? And then reframing the question to, if this no longer serves me, then what does? And that will help get you, for those of you Geminis who are not in this place, to this place of the Ten of Cups and manifesting that as your energy. And that's about the best card we can have. So I don't know that we can get another Ten of Cups out of this deck, but I do want to see. I'm not getting a guide to change decks, so we're going to ask really quickly. Oh, I was supposed to just pull that top one. Well, I'm only human, guys. I messed it up there. They're giving me in. Oh. Well, I guess they did it the way they wanted. Let's see what we got on the ground over here. So we've got the Ten of Swords in reverse, dropping the burdens and relaxing. That's what this is bringing in for you. So, and it's a combination. You've got, this is what you're manifesting right after the Tower has happened. So the Tower is going to prepare you for this, right? But you've got to pull in this. So this is like past. This is what I see as the future, but not your. This is like, a month, 2 months down the road, depending on how soon this happens. This is what you're manifesting. So this is what's coming in right after that. You're in this mode immediately because you already had the things that you were manifesting. That energy is clearing out. Now you're doing this. With that comes the release of the Ten of Wands. And the next thing to fall out on the top was the Four of Wands. I'm getting the impression here that those Geminis that are single, this is very much going to be making way for your Empress to come in. And if you're in the feminine, the equivalent would be your Divine Masculine. But it's to make way for, oh, that's important. Okay, so that's why it's supposed to be separate. So this is to make way to bring in more of that feminine energy, more of the healing and the compassionate energy. What you're manifesting with this Ten of Cups is your Four of Wands, which is divine union. Divine union with something that you desire and you want. In the case of this, where we're talking about the physiological things, this is an internal manifestation, a balancing of energy, bringing more of your feminine in. This is allowing you to find your calling, to align yourself with your divine path and your divine purpose, and to find your calling, and to be very relaxed in it. Let's just see what came up after that. No, these are not relevant to this. Maybe relevant to the next one. And that is how it pertains to the physiological aspects of what's going on in your life. Now, for some of you, depending on how many of these lessons you've learned, how well you've learned to manifest, some of you are going to have maybe 2 small towers or 1 tiny tower, and it's not going to be a big deal, and you're already well on your way to this, depending on what wavelength that you're on. For those Geminis that are on the wavelength I'm picking up on, these towers are going to have been several, one right after the other. It's going to be very important, since this is your crosshair, to keep up with the positive manifesting. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Because you are bringing in what you need, but this just is not completely cleared yet. Until this is cleared, and that doesn't mean that all the debts will be paid, but when the dust settles and you have the ability to move forward, then you will start to see it's like this. This happened, okay? The towers happened. You're still manifesting this. As long as you maintain manifesting this, don't give up, because this is an overwhelmed energy, defeated. I'm feeling defeated. I'm energy. The universe is saying, do not give up. Do not just keep continuing manifesting what you're manifesting about what you want, about happiness. Just keep thinking about happiness and your family and the things that you love. What that is bringing in is a release of the burdens, an internal release of the burdens, an actual, oh, okay, the house was too expensive for me. Now that it's gone and I'm paying a couple $100 less than what it was, and I have a job that makes more money or the same amount of money, I feel so much better. I feel so much relief compared to where I was at. This gives you time and energy to bring this into balance. And when your feminine and your masculine are in balance, and for those of you in this reading, it's a very it's not your masculine is not overpowering. It's in control in terms of what I feel in the energy. It's just that you're ignoring the feminine. You're ignoring your intuition. You're ignoring your compassion. You're ignoring your self-love. You're ignoring a lot of the divine empress within you, whether you're masculine or feminine. So this allows this to come in, and then when you are, and this won't be complete, but when this starts to come in, as this is coming in, so will your alignment with your purpose, with where you're supposed to be in terms of living. What in purpose, people talk about purpose and they think it's just a car. Just a career. Just like your divine purpose is to, start a food bank, or your divine purpose is to go out and help the homeless, or your divine purpose is to X, Y, and Z. But that's not always the case. Sometimes your divine purpose involves having a truck versus having a car. Because what if your divine purpose is to go out and help people, and 3 of the people that God has assigned you to help need help with moving, and without that truck they go to somebody else. Because they go to somebody else, they didn't go to you. Because they didn't go to you, they're not sitting in your passenger seat. Because they're not sitting in your passenger seat, they're not gaining the words of wisdom that only you could give them, because you've been in this situation before. That is a divine purpose. That is a divine part of your path. As you align with your intuition, you begin following those intuitive knowings, and you start aligning with your path. As you align with your path, that brings in the 10 of Cups energy. Okay. And I said that I would do one for the singles. And I'm not saying divine. masculines, feminines, anything like that. I'm saying singles, not just even say. I did this when playing cards with the kids too, and we have to reshuffle. I don't want these cards coming out next to each other again unless they're supposed to. And I will still shuffle. This is also my way of kind of taking a moment to cancel out the energy from the previous one, because now we are going to ask specifically for the Gemini singles, because that was such a strong energy, such a strong, it was like a, I don't know how else to explain it, except it feels like I'm getting bombarded by somebody's thought who's going to watch this at some point in time. I will advocate studying quantum physics until I'm blue in the face. And if you want to understand God better, there's 2 ways to understand God. No matter what religion background you came from, in my opinion, 2 best ways to really, really be close to God. Of course, reading your Bible. Of course, reading your, the Torah, whatever your religious belief is. All of those books have words of wisdom. But for real life practicality, really understanding from the heart and from the mind, and like grasping what is in those books, what's in the Bible, what's in the Torah, what's in those books, for me anyway, the 2 best ways I can advise is to start studying quantum physics and being a parent. Because that divine being, that creator of all things and all times and all places that I call God, or Heavenly Father, very much like a parent. And there really is, when you study quantum physics, there really is no space and no time. We're all interconnected. Or at least no space or time that can separate us. And having said that, what I'm trying to explain is I don't know if this is God telling me or showing me this energy, or if this is someone thinking about this so hard that this is just for one person. So, they're telling me I'm talking too much. I should have already stopped and cut the bag. So this is, one more time. But apparently there is a very, 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 very strong desire on the part of the collective single Geminis to know what's going to happen soon. So we have the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So a lot of you singles, there's, like, I am feeling somebody's energy, so somebody's getting a reading here. This is not a good energy to be in. This King of Pentacles is studious about his money, smart. He can handle his money, he can pay his bills, he's got everything under control. But what I'm being guided to here is that this being at the bottom of the deck, at the controlling energy, especially when they had me split the deck and then split it again, so this ended up at the bottom. Someone is, and this is a relationship reading, someone is in the energy of feeling like they don't have enough financially, and that is a poor, pun intended, energy to be in when you're trying to attract a relationship. Because if you're in that energy where you're feeling that lack, you're feeling that whether you are recognizing it or not, but if you're not taking care of your bills on time. You're, especially if you could, but you're not taking care of your bills on time. You're not getting your stuff done. That's a King of Pentacles in reverse energy. That is not what you want to draw to you, honey. You do not want to draw a King or Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, because then you guys are going to have some serious conversations about money. And I am being guided to look at this. The High Priestess in reverse. Isn't that a couple and a half? And the Sun card. There's what you get when that happens. So you can take it whichever way you are. If you're the feminine energy and you're in this energy, this poor manifesting, poor me, I'm so broke, I can't do anything, and not focusing, not really, paying the bills that you need to pay or being able to, it may not be your fault, but you've got to get out of that mindset. Remember, whatever is happening, I say remember as if you know that. If you study manifesting stuff, like attracts like. Whatever you've been thinking about, it takes the universe or world a few minutes to give it to you. And by a few minutes, I mean weeks, days, years. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden, I thought about being poor and now I'm poor. You could have thought about how you didn't have enough money for a couple of days because you were tight right before your paycheck. But now all of a sudden, that was so intense and you were thinking it so much that now it's starting to manifest itself as you having less money because maybe you got sick and took 2 days off work, or since that seems to be the energy, it seems to be the energy again here with something with Geminis and being sick in September. But, and I'm not saying anyone is going to get sick. I'm saying that and we have all known someone that had COVID. We've all known someone that's been sick. I'm just saying it's somehow this, whoever was that was sick around you or you yourself, affected you in such a way that this is one of those mini towers we talked about. Remember, it had a catalytic effect. And in terms of the singles, it's having a catalytic effect in how you're manifesting the couple that you want. So the feminines are over here worrying about manifesting poorly. The masculines are over here not as worried. They've kind of got logical plans, but they're really not. I get more of an apathetic attitude from the masculines, kind of a scrambling. Some of them are almost in a manipulative mode, but they're still not acting as an emperor. And so they're not acting as an emperor, and they're mismanaging their money, is creating this manifestation of an empress, or in this case the high priestess, in reverse, not doing what she's supposed to do, and vice versa, because you attract each other. So now we've got a beautiful pair here, don't we? And what are they bringing in? More unhappiness, more bad manifesting. This is not a cycle you want, folks. So let's see what we do want. And yes, I just flipped that. I don't know why. All right, let's see what we've got. So for the energy for the singles, Three of Wands in reverse. That's one area of your life you're not feeling so. This card usually strikes me as he's always, see how desolate it looks. Like your Two of Wands is about choices, but he's got that third one here. And even though these two are here, he's got his back turned to all of them. This is more of a subconscious thing. His back is turned to all of these wands, but he's already subconsciously made his choice. So you've already subconsciously figured out what it is you want. And you're not feeling as desolate as you were before when it comes to that manifesting of the relationships. And that's not a bad energy to be in. That's a good start. So what is the obstacle here? King of Cups. Wanting for that strong person to come in and make an offer. And this is going to be this is a masculine energy for some of you masculine, some of you, well, I'll just leave it at masculine. Some of you masculine Geminis out there, you're wanting a female who's going to chase you. This is just the feeling I get. This is just the message. You're wanting a female who's going to chase you. Who's going to chase you, and who's going to chase you, and that's what you're looking for, instead of balance. And for the females, it's so on the masculine end, we've got someone who's a little too testosterone, a little too masculine, who is very much in their ego and wants to be chased. And for the females, although the feminine energy is not so much in that ego space, they're still in that you haven't quite come out of this, you're not feeling as desolate, but when it comes to the relationships, you want this so much that it's almost become an obstacle. Almost. I say almost. I did not get the message that this was in reverse. But you want this King of Cups so much that it has almost become an obstacle. And it's interesting that it's coming out this way. I would be very surprised. Actually, I don't think I would. I would not be surprised if there are two Geminis meeting up. And one of those, the masculine Gemini in this, is wanting someone to chase, wanting someone to chase, wanting someone to chase. Even though really deep down, subconsciously, see, he's turned away from all these ones. But subconsciously, he does want one. Subconsciously, he does want this. Whatever this looks like for him, this relationship looks like for him. Right? And same for the female. Subconsciously, she knows what she wants. But here's the problem with this. So if you've got the female in that desperate energy, and we all know desperation is not attractive here. So if you've got the female in that energy of chasing, well, the masculine's getting what he wants. He's getting her to chase. But rarely does a masculine who is getting chased actually appreciate it or care about it. And that's where it becomes the challenge for him. He thinks he wants to be chased, but he's failing to recognize that subconsciously, the minute he's chased, even if he loves and adores that person, boom, he's out the door. And it doesn't matter how wonderful or good that could be, all of a sudden, everything's mucked up. It seems like a case of cognitive dissonance when it comes to the masculine. The masculine wants a healthy, yeah, I heard healthy. The masculine, the Geminis want a healthy relationship. And the feminine Geminis want, some of them just want a relationship. They should be wanting a healthy relationship. But some of them want just a relationship. That can cause all kinds of problems. But let's see what the cards have to say. So we're going to do the past first. Oh. Okay. So what I'm getting is that in the past there was juggling. In the past there was a lesson about being juggled in a relationship. Third party type stuff. Or actually not so much third party in terms of this is not girlfriend, boy, extra girlfriends, extra boyfriends. This is like you had to share this person with, a sick aunt, sick uncle, sick mom. You had to share this person with your kids. You had to share this person with a job. Or you had to make them share because you were the one that did it. There was not a balance in the relationship, and there was not time to give it to the relationship. But this is in the reverse, so this is now coming about as a past energy. It is no longer your current energy. You're now actually in a place where you can finally move forward. You're actually in a place where this won't be a problem. This lesson is over. But the residual hurt from it is not. We're into the next lesson. If you can learn this lesson before October 31st, you're going to have a leg up on all of us. This energy although this has stopped, and I'm guessing in part because some of those towers that we saw earlier for the other parts of the life, even though the juggling has stopped, this juggling caused a lot of pain. And unfortunately, that caused the Ten of Cups, but in reverse. So it's causing you to define what you want. But there's still some things that have not been released from it. In case of the masculine energies within you, or within the males themselves, or within a female who's acting like a masculine, or acting in capacity of a masculine energy, learning about masculine sides. It's all about learning. So however that masculine energy is coming out, that masculine energy is still an ego. That ego side wants to be chased, wants to be chased, wants to be chased. And you could be let's for instance say, because I'm getting like the feeling of a female, okay? So just for example's sake, we're going to call it a female, all right, gender. But she's got a struggle between the masculine and feminine going on. So, my apologies, my earpiece fell out. On the one hand, the masculine ego part of her wants to be loved, wants someone to put forth effort to her, wants to be chased, But on the feminine side, she's so desperate for love that instead of setting any kind of boundaries, she starts chasing the man that comes along. It just becomes an unhealthy balance. These energies need to be balanced out. The ego needs to be released. And yes, there should be, and people talk about chasing, and depends on each individual. So for some men, fixing a nice dinner for him could be chasing him. For some men, that's not chasing, that's just expected, as any good host would do if you invite them to your house at dinner time and end up there at dinner. For some men, it's not chasing unless you flat out ask them for a relationship status or you ask to get married. For some men, if you bat your eyelashes at them, you are chasing them. It is going to be different for every individual. But within you, Gemini, because we're only talking about you, right? Within you, Gemini, you have to balance those out. You have to balance out the masculine part of you, that ego part that wants to be chased, whatever that means for you. And understand that you can give yourself whatever comes from that, whatever it is that you're wanting someone else to do or give to you, you can give that to yourself. And by giving that to yourself, you'll no longer be in the chaser mode. You'll no longer be in that state of desperation because you won't need that man or that woman. You will already be giving it to yourself. And then this can turn around. So what are you manifesting at the top? I mean, I think we've already heard a lot of it yet. King of Cups. In reverse, though, this is an offer of love. I get two things from this. One is that some of you aren't really sure yet what you want. And that's why he's coming up in the reverse. You want him, or her, you want this offer of love, but you're not sure what that looks like. And if you do manifest, it's going to be a lesson. If you haven't righted this situation, then what's going to manifest is lessons, just like all those towers had lessons in them. Lessons here to fix this. What is that bringing down into? Jeez. Oh my God. Sorry, God. Well, no, I'm not sorry. You should be right here. You're doing this. And what it brings in is the Knight of Wands in reverse. So, you're manifesting an unbalanced love offer And what you get is an unbalanced offer of passion. There's still some work to do, Geminis. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to understand whatever this was for you, whatever you were juggling in your life. And I get the impression that many of you didn't think this was such a big deal or was affecting you so much because you were really good at this juggling. Like really, really good at trying to make time for everything. But either the person in the relationship with you did not make time for you, or you did not make time for that person. And that's about priorities. And priorities happen because we don't value or we do value something. You need to figure out what it is you value in a relationship, what it is you want. What do you value in yourself? What do you want to see more expressed within yourself and outside of yourself to the outside world? Because these dudes don't matter. These girls, these guys, they don't matter at all if we can't be ourselves. If we cannot express our highest truth, if we don't feel a value ourselves, then nothing anybody can say is going to fix that. If you come in with, these two come in with like imbalanced, if you come in with an imbalanced offer, and that person can't express themselves, you're doing them a disservice. And the same holds true for someone that comes towards you. If they come towards you and you are not in a place where you know yourself well enough to know what it is you value, what it is you want to express, what your truth is, then there's so many things that it's so complicated that it's impossible to say in one reading. But you end up with issues like the man or the woman who starts liking everything that their significant other likes just because their significant other likes it. Let me tell you, I like all kinds of things. I have a very broad liking of certain shows, for instance. I think God's trying to tell me here to be careful what I say, so I will be careful. Hopefully this example is going to be all right. But I have a very broad liking of shows. So I do okay when I'm hanging out with somebody and they want to watch something that I want to watch. There's a lot of things I like to watch. But most people don't like to watch what I like to watch. Now, as long as I can go off by myself and still watch quantum physics documentaries, I'm a happy camper. As long as I can still watch Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and Esther Hicks and the things that give me passion and fire and the drive to continue doing stuff like this, I'm happy. But if I had somebody come in who absolutely hated that stuff to the point where he didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to hear about it, didn't want to see it, didn't want to do anything, and didn't want me to either. Like, the minute he started trying to change me or who I was, that would be an imbalance. And you have to be able to recognize that, and the only way you can recognize that is by knowing yourself. It's too easy to slip into someone else's stuff and forget yours and not be yourself. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's healthy for a relationship. In my opinion, it is healthy for a relationship. I'm not talking codependence here and doing every single thing and not being able to do something. But it is healthy for couples to find things that they like to do together, whether that's cooking, shopping, golf. That might mean that maybe you didn't like golf to begin with, but you go golfing with your husband because you like it now, or because you like spending time with him. And vice versa. This is called compromise, by the way. In an equal giving relationship, he would then say maybe go to the opera with you, not because he loves the opera, but because he likes spending time with you. He appreciates that you spent time with him, and it's shared. Instead of balancing everything in the world where everybody else comes first and everything else comes first, this compromise balances the relationship so that the couple puts each other first, includes each other in their activities, and spends time together. That's just one of the things that can go wrong or right depending on how well we know ourselves. Anyway, the whole point of this, and again, this is such a long message because it does play out in so many different ways. So my actual thought, I'm going to give a piece of advice, and I do say that if you need, if you need psychological help, if you need, for serious mental health issues, I do advise going to seek a good health professional. However, I would say in this case, it would not be a bad idea if you want to avoid the towers, if you want to get to this faster, if you want this upright faster, especially right now. One of the benefits that has come out of COVID is that there are now a whole bunch of psychologists, counselors online that do Zoom calls. They can come to you if you're still struggling with stuff. And if you find a good one, it may only take a couple of sessions to help you define this. Or a good life coach, somebody, just a sounding board. Even if it's just prayer and getting deep within yourself and writing down the good points and the bad points of past relationships and defining what you want. And then, again, as I said, what is your value to you? Not what's your value to everybody else. Who cares? Right? I mean, because that's not what this is about. You want to manifest a good relationship. Well, to manifest a good relationship, it doesn't matter what your parents think. It doesn't matter what Joe Schmo thinks, because they're not going to be in this relationship. So only thing that matters is how they feel and how you feel. Well, before you can meet them, you should know you. So the advice for the rest of this month for my Geminis is to get that masculine and feminine energy more into balance. Let go a little bit of that ego, let go a little of the desperation, because they're just two sides of the same coin. And get to know yourself. Before you worry about meeting somebody else, get to know yourself. And on that note, I will leave it there. If this was of value to you, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please feel free to leave comments of support and assistance in the comment box below. We could all use some uplifting. Not that I'm begging for comments, but I guess it would be nice, if we all started doing a little bit more uplifting. Anyway, have a wonderful night. Bye.